What's up, Juventino? Welcome back to the AJC channel dedicated to Juventus. It is the season opener upon us. Juventus versus Parma. Finally some action to talk about. As the mercato, well, not so much action there, but at least we're going to get action on the pitch today. But we are going to talk mercato. We are going to talk about everything in the build-up to this game, as well as a presser that Tudor made a couple interesting statements and points about. And Yildiz coming into question, coming into focus, and maybe there is a reason behind what Juventus is doing there, but fans have voiced their opinions on Yildiz as a leader with some major question marks. But we're going to have fun talking about everything leading up to this match against Parma. I've got Trim and Paolo with me. Trim, how you doing? Sun's out, guns out over there out east. What's happening?
It's the last little bit of summer. Got to try to, soak it up as quickly as we can because it's quickly fading away. But it's game day. It's match day 1. Really, really looking forward to the start of the season. Might have a little hot take wager-esque thing coming out during this show. We'll see. But I'm ready to go and I'm fired up.
We love the hot takes. Love the hot takes. Paolo, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited. We're finally back. We have a game to watch. The season has started for us. The real season has started with Juve's first game. I'm really excited. I'm optimistic.
Well, I mean, for season openers, we should be optimistic because, man, It's a hell of a little streak we got going on season openers with 3-0 finishes. So we'll get to that portion when we get into the predictions. Going to take a second, say what's up to everybody in the chat here. We got Mitch coming in here. Swari, Chris, great to see you all. Alex Juve in here. Chunk G's in here. We've got Mateo Camisa. Good morning, boys. All right. Everybody's fired up. Remy's in here as well. And, of course, Swati Tuna Steaks coming in here. And what's he got here? Paolo in rare form today. I can already feel it. And Trimmy got the guns out once again. All right. We're going to have a lot of fun. And Dells with the hashtag Allegri in. Yes, Milan is going through something that we all saw very, very familiar. But you know what? Speaking of Max, let's get this going. Max amount of likes, everybody. All right, take a second and drop the likes there. And just one piece of housekeeping before we fire things up. We talked a lot about the memberships and everything. Thank you to everybody who's been doing that. And, of course, the Legends tier has a kit giveaway. But we finally unveiled the actual kit giveaway open to everyone and all that are subscribed. And that is the new home kit with 10 Yildiz on the back. And Yildiz is going to be a part of a major discussion we've got today. All right. But good luck to everybody out there on this one. You got to be subscribed, of course. Now, let's get to some of the goods here, okay? Tudor, as we look to start the 25-26 season, it's really light in the news. Mercato will come later on, probably around Storm the Barn, all right? But I tell you what, Boniface, that thing's frozen. And do I have just the guy for you, Milan? Do I have just the guy you're looking for? But we'll get to that, okay? Tudor. 25-26 season, we've said a lot that he's going to be kind of this wild card for Juve as the roster doesn't change a lot. Bremer can be like this new signing for Tudor, and we're going to rely on him. He's ready to go. Tudor spoke to him, and he's going to be starting. They don't have really any concerns anymore around Bremer, is the feeling we're getting, which is good. Because we are definitely going to need him. Center back is something we've all kind of talked about through the mercato. And I said, as it got later, and we are now late, maybe, just maybe, Juve thinks they're fine at the back. And that would appear to be probably the case, unless they had some goodbyes, which they've also struggled to do, is say some goodbyes. But Tudor is going to be a big wild card for us. His thoughts on the mercato yesterday in a presser, which I thought the presser was fine. Nothing crazy. Nothing bad. It was just a standard plain Jane presser, but he said, the club knows my thoughts and my feelings. And that was the direct answer in regards to Kolomuani coming in. The club knows my thoughts, but I got to focus, I got to work, and I'm happy with the group I have. So Tudor, however, has been taking fire over the Vlahovic situation because of his feelings about him. And he's come out several times to media claiming Vlahovic has been nothing but a professional, no problems, and we're looking forward to the season, etc. Whatever happens in the mercato happens. Tudor's taken fire from fans because they feel the treatment to Vlahovic has never given Juve the proper position or angle to properly move him. How do you guys feel about that one? We're going to start with Paolo on this one.
Well, if that's the assumption or the blame, the reasoning, I think it's kind of incomplete. Dušan's really been a polarizing figure on this matter for a year and a half now. He hasn't been helpful in coordinating anything, and he's demonstrated some real strange behavior on and off the pitch. So he is somebody, I think, who has an upside. He's very expensive, and there isn't a big market for someone at his price tag with his uncertainties around his behavior and his production, his attitude. So he's kind of laid the foundation himself for putting everyone in a very difficult position. So when nobody's showing up, like, who did he want? He wants Real Madrid, or he wants, I don't know, Liverpool or somebody. They're not showing up for this kind of a player right now at this price.
He's in the
he's holding it against
Rabiot realm. He's in
he's holding it against everyone else.
All these teams are coming in for me.
He's holding it against everybody else. And I think it's a problem. He's kind of put himself in this position. His agent has. And at least unlike Sancho, he is playing instead of sitting on his couch on his PS5. So we'll see. But it's his own making, unfortunately.
Yeah. Big shout out to Mitch, gifting AJC membership. All right. Much love, brother. Thank you. And congrats to who received that. Trim, what do you think? How do you feel about Tudor taking fire about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, he obviously has to take some responsibility in the sense that, like, he clearly has an affinity for Dušan. He's stated that he likes the player and they get along, they have a good relationship from what's been made to believe behind the scenes. And I mean, you can see it clearly. He hasn't frozen him out. So he claims he's going to plan on using him. I don't know how smart that is, but at the end of the day, Dušan's really kind of brought it upon himself, because I think, like, the teams approached him about wanting to move him, and there's been teams that have been interested, and he's kind of, it's his salary at the end of the day, and his play on the field hasn't really helped. So I think that's the main issue, is that if he had kind of played up to his standards, or what we feel are his standards based on his salary, I don't think we'd be having this discussion, because I think they would have moved him on, or furthermore, we would have been keeping him. But, you know, his play has taken a turn for the worse. His attitude's definitely reflected that as well. So that's, I think, the biggest thing, right? You know, we've got a couple teams that were interested in him, and one specifically in Milan that they want him to lower his salary, and it doesn't seem like he wants to do that. He wants to just leave on a free, because he knows that he's getting paid a really good wage that he'll probably never see again, if that's fair to say. I mean, unless his play suddenly takes a turn in the right direction, maybe. But I think his salary, what we gave him, is not right for the type of player that he is. And he's not going to make that salary. So he wants to stick around, ride it out, and then see what happens next summer.
If I look at this whole situation, I find it very, very difficult for those that are kind of firing at Tudor over this thing, because when you take a look back just to last season, I think it's very simple for Tudor in continuation from what happened last season, and that's just keeping the harmony. That's probably the biggest thing right now that has to happen. And I think, business aside, Tudor's looking at, you know, his business, which is just simply on the pitch, and probably making strong moves like that on a skinny squad. Like, if he did do that, this is kind of where we're at, because if they did, I think Juve just in the end was probably too afraid to make that strong of a push, because in the end, Vlahovic could still very well hold out. And if they did that and you're left still with that 23 million on here, or you go in a deficit making a big signing like Kolomuani, or what are those alternatives? What were they, Openda or Jackson? Okay, well, anyways, you're going to be making a pickup and you're going to be putting yourself more behind the eight ball as far as the finances go. And maybe you're taking an FFP penalty on a situation where maybe, just maybe, as a number 2 on a final contract year where he's trying to play for his best possible option next season on a free, when he can make even more, like maximize his salary because he's going to be on a free, and his agent can make those commissions. It's a tricky situation. If we froze him out and we got aggressive, which I think if you were going to go that route, you would have had to do right at the start. It makes no sense to do now when you're starting the season. It was either you do it at the beginning or you don't do, like, you pretty much don't do it at all, because if he still stayed, you're screwed. And you created this animosity, you created this tension, and then all of a sudden your season starts and you're like, oh man, we don't have a number 2. It's Eric Milik, who we still don't know where he is, grabbing gelatos down on the frickin', like, that would be disastrous, right? So it's kind of this thing where I think ultimately that fear of how it could have ended up, probably they just went the cool, calm, collected, safe route with Vlahovic. Now, that story, however, when you start looking at other guys, it's a little bit different. We've always talked about the guys up at the top coming in and helping Kamoli, because I also don't blame Kamoli. Like, it's hard for me to really get on Kamoli or Tudor right now, because every director that's come in has had some level of shit that they've had to tackle. So I can't really go too hard on Kamoli. It's like Vlahovic was a really sticky situation because of that massive astronomical wage. But now, it's ugly probably any way you were going to slice it. You were never going to say goodbye without a loss. If they pull something out now without a loss or minimal loss, that's insane. That's great. That's fantastic. But you were always going to take some type of hit. Even going at the guys at the top, like Elkin, etc., like clean things up, help them out. The Vlahovic one's a sticky one.
Yeah,
but things
Bert,
things like Arthur, like Jallo, were pissing around over 2 million. They offered 3 million permanent sale. Let's go. We're fighting for 5, 4, meet in the middle, say goodbye. Like, a lot of time wasted on piddly ass shit, right? And it's like, can we freshen up the roster? Even if you're bringing in some young guys, I'd be happy. Like, just guys that are like new and fresh to the scene that could be like, okay, you know what? Like, a little breath of fresh air. It's just like, it's stale. It's this staleness about the roster. And Douglas Luiz, those final terms, we assume risk in that too.
He could be back.
Yeah. We don't know the conditions, right? But go on, Paulo.
I was going to say, I think you made a great point while I was listening to you, is Tudor's got a year ahead of him. And this is a big year for him. This will be his first maybe complete year as a head coach. He doesn't want to rock the boat. He cares obviously so much about Juve. He's really probably grateful and excited about this opportunity. He wants us to go well. He's got an asset in Vlahovic, and he needs that asset to work for him, just like whether it's Kostic or whoever. So he's got these players and he wants to try and get something out of it. Now, Vlahovic is as much of a headache as he is, and people can be upset with him. Fans can hold it against him the way he's played this out. He still gets along with his teammates. Apparently, he's come to the camp this year in shape. He wants to be a star. He wants to go out and play. He wants to score goals. He wants to be a hero. So Tudor is looking at this and probably saying, okay, but I kind of need this guy. So if he's not going anywhere, can we just get him on the field because I'm not going to go up there and blame you guys for not getting me Colo. I'm not going to go up there and blame you guys for having no money to give me other players. I'm not saying he's a company man, but Tudor really has his own career to worry about right now. And Duchan's probably a key to him continuing what he had last year and maybe finishing third again or whatever. So I think there's other layers of this that I don't fall on Tudor. I think he just wants to try and get a job done, and Duchan's probably part of that.
And to Alex Juve's point here, you may have to look for a striker in January. I mean, somebody might come in January even for him, right? So it's like, and again,
he's playing well. Yeah, if he's playing well.
Something could happen there. Yeah. You might still take, a lump here on the second half.
But then you can also ask for the money. If he scored 10 goals by January and he's looking good, he's getting at least 10 minutes a game coming in for David, or maybe he's getting in the odd start.
Yeah,
all of a sudden you've got somebody you can get 40 million for, 30 million for in January.
Well, I don't know with 6 months remaining, I don't think it's going to be to that degree, but you should be able to recover something is the point, right? Like you should be
you'll get a fee.
Losing him on a free, right? So you should be able to recover something in January if he's doing well coming off the bench, and that might be the play. But Tudor, yeah, it's really hard to go at him. For Tudor, he's going to be judged based on what happens on the pitch and the results, just like any other coach. But this type of dynamic and scenario he walked into, this thing was coming from miles and miles away. And I told everybody right after Case, I go, hey, Duchan's up next and it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Is what it is, right? But Tudor in this presser continued, and then he listed our captains for the season. Locatelli, of course. Captain Bremer, listed as the first alternate. Yildiz, Thuram, and Gatti. So some notables out there that some fans were throwing out there. No Cambiaso. Some were throwing out Di Gregorio as well, maybe being an alternate. But Yildiz and Thuram get in there. And I stated on the Daily Update, I got no problems with it based on what I'm seeing on the pitch. And we got to get into this because Yildiz was one of those that said, and very few came out that said he's not a leader type and it's way too early, whatever. I bring up one theory, maybe a little protection, fending off with all the attention around this player and trying to show him from Juve's perspective just how high a regard he is held in from the club. Could you blame them? But how do you feel about this? Let's start with Trim with the list of captaincy and Yildiz and Thuram getting in there.
Yeah, so for the list specifically, I have no issues. I think it's pretty much bang on. Like, yeah, you can make a case for a couple of guys, in particular Digre and Cambiaso, but it starts to get too long when you have 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. Like, I mean, I think we're smart enough as fans to realize that, like, let's say one guy goes down with injury long-term where he can't be physically on the pitch to help lead the team or in the dressing room. I think those guys would be the ones to kind of step in. But as for the specific 4 or 5 guys that they chose, like, no brainer to me. For Yildiz specifically, I mean, I guess a little bit North American bias, but like I'm used to seeing, in North America in sports, young captains, young leaders coming right into the league after year 1, year 2 of leading clubs and teams that I follow. So for me, it's nothing really out of the ordinary. And I mean, to your point, Berto, like I can see that being a thing where they're, trying to say like, we view you in high regard. We're going to possibly extend your contract and raise your salary during the season. We're giving you a captain's armband or vice captain. So like you can see that fend off some of the interest from the other clubs. But just in general, like, the guy's young, yeah, it's his second year, but who's to say, like, I mean, he gives off this presence, although we don't know him personally, he gives off this presence that like, he's got everything under control for that age. Like he just seems so much more mature at that age than like myself or people that I've known or just other players that I've seen coming through the ranks, watching Serie A and Calcio in general. So I have no issues with it. Everything that I hear behind the scenes from people that I follow and stuff is they say he's a top-notch guy. He's good with the fans, good with the players and teammates. So no issues with Yildiz being looked at or viewed as a leader.
And is there anybody you think should be on that list that isn't?
Anyone other than the guys that are on that list that should be on that list? No, like I said, I think it's pretty much bang on. Like for Cambiasso specifically, what I would say is like he could be on the list, but at the same time, I think his play has to kind of
Be
improve a
consistent.
bit, a little bit more consistent, improve a bit more. Not that that's the be all end all, because obviously you can see even for example, there was a video circulating after one of the games where he's kind of smacking Yildiz, like they're going back and forth, like in a fun and joking way. So like they all get along, and they obviously love Cambiasso's enthusiasm and all that. So like I think it's more behind the scenes he could be a leader. David, I see it being brought up in the chat. He can easily be on the list, but he just came to the club. So
Yeah.
I know Jonathan David's leadership capabilities. He's actually a captain or co-captain for the Canadian men's national team. Make of that what you will, but it obviously says something. Like he will be part of that group one day. I just right now he's just coming to a new club, so I kind of just left him in the background. But he will be part of that group at some point if he sticks around.
And Paolo, your thoughts on the captain's list? And do you think Yildiz can be a leader? Is he a leader? Is Thuram a leader?
I agree with Trim on most accounts there. I think it's a great list. All those players have earned the right to wear that badge. I think you need 5 because, like you said, if somebody gets subbed out, somebody's injured, etc. Tudor's basically said, this is my year. This is my team. I'm in charge of this year. What happens this year will be something I will feel more control over and will be more my responsibility. It will be the byproduct of what I can bring to the club. And he's already taken that 5 captains and said, now here's my captains. So he's taken something and he's put it out of the way. He said, here's my penalty taker, unless he misses, but we have other penalty takers in Luca. So he's kind of set the rules. And I think that's a great management of the club because with all the drama going on, you still have Vlahovic who could play and not be hated. You still have Kostic who could feel he has a chance to try and earn a spot back. So he's creating an environment that's a safe one, and he's creating an environment where he set these rules. And I think that's great for him. And as far as Yildiz goes, there was a moment in the Dortmund game where he came and picked up a loose ball, and then he started running up the middle of the field with the ball and resetting the whole team, the whole attack. And I think we got our goal shortly after that. I can't remember, but Yildiz is the best player we have, and he can change a game on his own. He's a superstar. And the more he starts playing in the middle, and the more he calmly and professionally and in his distinguished way starts to own that 10 and own that recognition, we're watching a star in the making. I think this young man deserves everything they can give him.
We all have kind of thoughts and views, and it's perception over a player that could be or can't be like a captain, is a leader, etc. You've got Michael G here. You can be a leader without the armband, essentially, right? You've got others saying that the captain needs to consistently perform at a high level. Luca, Bremer, and Yildiz make sense in that aspect, right? You've got, I don't know if it's the young side of things, because sometimes people associate captaincy with age and experience, which isn't necessarily the case at all times. Like impact, what you do on the pitch, what you do off the pitch is all part of like things we don't even see plays into being one of the leaders of a team. If I'm looking at this list, I probably would say that I think Di Gregorio should probably be in there. If I was going to pull one guy out of there, it might actually be Khéphren Thuram. Because Thuram's the one that I still need that, like, that impact, that effectiveness throughout, and a little bit more like just of that, like, we can put weight on this guy. And I love Thuram. I'm a huge Thuram guy. But that's the only one I would probably question. Yildiz, you take that guy out of the lineup, we always feel it. So his impact's there. It's there. All the stuff outside, locker room, off the pitch, he's got it all. And you're trying to show this guy how high regard you hold him in. There is nothing wrong with making him one of the alternates. As far as being a leader, his presence, his impact, now it's time for him. He took a good jump, a healthy jump last season. Now it's time to hit next level. Does the captaincy boost him up like that? I think that this kid is not a guy that's going to be phased by it, whether he's wearing that armband or not. I actually think he's going to have a big season. I don't know if I'll go to the degree of Massimo, who came on the show and said he's going to win Serie A MVP of the season this year. I mean, holy bull. I mean, he's got everything in the tool chest to do it, but I would love it, but I think he's going to have an explosive year. I think Kenan Yildiz is going to have a big season. And I think Jonathan David is going to be a big reason as to why he does and why Chico has a stronger year. Because I just think that the three of them is big potential, and hopefully it pans out. But for Yildiz, a leader, I could see it. We'll see.
And sometimes goalies have trouble being captains only because they can't necessarily run to the other end of the field and talk to the ref on behalf of the team to discuss a call or whatnot. So, I mean, Buffon, you can let him do whatever he asks for because he's a god. But I think Digre is going to be very important. I pick him to be the goalie of the year, and I think he deserves to be a captain because he leads by example. But sometimes for a goalie, it's a bit difficult logistically to do your captain duties.
Yeah. I mean, Buffon, jeez, you can hear that guy through the screen with his yells sometimes. Dio porco! You know, this guy is like the good old blasphemy that he'd get fined with here and there. Good old...
he almost got in a fight with Mota. Remember that? He almost got in a fight with Mota.
Oh, yeah.
He knew something before I guess.
We remember that. Mota. Here's Buffon. The big thing why, also speaking of Tudor, you got to get behind this guy because he is uno di noi. And I tell you what, for the conspiracy theorists out there, yesterday the Serie A kickoff had a little bit of everything, but the conspiracy theorists got a little bit themselves. They got a little bit themselves. This, I tell you what, you could easily write that story, everybody. You could easily write that story. God, I tell you.
Perfect timing. They just managed, the cameras managed to catch that right at the moment. Our paisano Patrick Kendrick there, the Interiste commentator on DAZN, just eating it up, man. It was cinema, absolute cinema. Saw that live, and I was
never ever a dull moment. Never ever.
And did he have a photocopy of Moretti's contract in his pocket?
I loved seeing it posted with the captions. Something. People posting captions of like what he whispered to Manna, and one it was like, I sold Hoisin for X amount of dollars, and then I signed Coop Miner. Like, it's just really funny if you go on X and you see some people writing like, what did he say or what are they saying? It's like, inside job, all this kind of stuff. It is pretty funny, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't put too much weight to it, but my God, I tell you what, those guys up at the top making the hires. I mean, geez, would you be that shocked if they did hire a mole? Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't.
Well, if it was up to we would have had two.
Old sleepy Ferraro there, freaking this guy's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ferraro's like he's like he's sleeping. He's like the guard sleeping, and you take the keys off their belt.
Oh yeah,
and you go and unlock the door. That's what Ferraro is. He's a sleeping guard.
Yeah. Now we are going to talk loosely in mercato. Colomuani, I can see it in the chat over here. Price. We got a report from Mirko Di Natale that was the price hasn't changed, and this didn't all of a sudden creep up out of the blue. And PSG's asking, this big price. There's been a gap, he's claiming, between Juve and PSG this entire time. He says Juve's still working on it. I call bullshit. I call complete bullshit. Total bullshit. I don't think there's anything to really sort. I don't think PSG's going nuts with the price there. I literally think it's come down to 1-for-1 in terms of players and who they're bringing in. And Comoli, the last time we heard from him, literally said, we did not talk to PSG since Club World Cup. We have not spoken to PSG since Club World Cup. And he literally said, like, if somebody leaves, we're ready to act. I feel like it's Vlahovic. And that's it. Unless this guy goes, there is no Kolo Muani coming in. All these other guys, Nicholas Jackson, Openda, like, no, somebody has to go. We did say goodbye to Douglas Luiz. It ended up being a $2.5 million loan. Unlike the move for Timothy Weah, which had criteria in it as well, the criteria is deemed so easily achieved that we actually still marked it as obligation, and we got all those funds like in the books now. You don't get the funds like immediate capital, you get the funds on your books. That's not the case for Douglas Luiz. So in the end, it's a $2.5 million loan. How come all our loans are 10 million? How come all our loans are like 7.5, 8, 10 million? We loan a guy, it's like 2 million, 1 million loan on Weah for the first year. What? It's just a charity case here. Okay. I'm so sick of it, but we assume risk in Luiz. Are we actually bringing in a midfielder for Luiz? Miretti might be the play because Luiz was with us last year. Miretti wasn't. It might be, hey, we go with Miretti and they're not actually bringing somebody in. Like our mercato might actually be done right here. So if it's done right here, right now, we had a preview show. We talked about what this team can do, where we expect them to finish, etc. Does the confidence level stay the same? Because we were making those calls based on thinking we could still achieve a couple business because Nico's move was close, Luiz's moves was close. So we were thinking, okay, you got a couple more pickups coming in and you're probably okay. If things remain the same, do you feel as confident as your expectations for this club? And what were they? Like, for me, I'm thinking we're going to get second and be in the mix up at the top. That's kind of my expectation this year based on what we did last year. 16 draws, clean that up, get after it. Yildiz making a bump, Jonathan David giving us a boost, more wins against those teams that are clamping down. But we are pretty skinny. I'm going to remain the same though. But guys, does it change for you? No more additions. We're right here as it is. What do you think in Serie A? Start with Paolo.
It's a tough one. I think without Colo, there's a real fire. There's an explosion waiting to happen with the whole Duchamp situation, and anything can happen any day with the volatility of that relationship and that situation as it is. And you're missing goals and you're missing some flexibility up top and a third option at top. So without Colo, I'm really concerned. I thought that would be a given. I thought they would figure it out somehow. So I am concerned about that. We are one injury away at each position from serious problems, and we have a lot of games to play. The way Tudor wants to play this kind of, I call it a hammer on a door. He just wants to smash forward. And if you, God forbid, have a loss on defense to a key player in the middle and up top, you don't really have a replacement. And if you do, they're not very good. So I think there's a lot of jeopardy here. And I think we need a lot of luck and a bit of grace because we can still finish second, third, or fourth. But I've also been saying I think that top six is going to be close all year. And you can't afford to lose points, and an injury to any of those key positions is going to be devastating.
Yeah, that's the
so
fear.
I'm worried.
That's the fear, even at the best of times when we feel like our depth is okay. Trim, how do you feel about the expectations versus if this is it for the mercato, which it might very well be?
Yeah, so trying to stay as consistent as possible throughout the mercato in terms of like what my expectations were, who I thought was leaving, who was coming in. So if it stays as is without Colo, I would say my expectations or my fear level goes up and increases because I really feel like we need Colo. We need Colo at the bare minimum. I would have liked Colo, another defensive defender for insurance purposes. And then I know that they've been bandying around possibly O'Reilly or another attacking option, either whether it's like in the midfield or as a winger like Zagrova, I think that's more like of a bonus than anything. So what I would say is I will feel pretty much status quo as long as they get Colo wrapped up. My expectation was second, like yours, Berto. Second place fighting for first in the Scudetto, because I think that, although Napoli showed that they played really well yesterday, there's going to be some slip-ups and hiccups along the road. It's a long season. Both teams have 3 competitions, so you never know what can happen. That being said, if we were to add Colo, if we were to add Zagrova and a defender, then my expectations or my hope would go up to, I think we can actually challenge and compete for the title. So basically, if it stays a status quo, at the very, very least, getting Colo wrapped up, second place, top 4 is no issue for me. I think we're going to get it done. Further to your point of like the players we brought in, like David will make a huge difference with Chico Yildiz up top. It's just our back line health. And I think we ride it out to January. And I know typically we don't do a lot of business in the January market, but I can see this year being different in the sense that we can add a couple of pieces at the very least, 2 pieces that we don't add now before the season starts. But again, it's going to depend on a lot of things, where we are in the table, financially, if we can move some guys out, and also, what are the targets at that time. So That's kind of where I'm at.
Milan fans were really hyping up their mercato, and they dropped the first one at home to Cremonese, and they didn't look good, and they definitely don't look good at the back. And everybody that was the picks, it was funny when we did our preview show, I said, I've seen so many variations of the top 4 for Serie A this season. It's actually wild. We came out very similar on our show. However, it's just crazy. But everyone that was picking Milan, I'm like, well, where's the help at the back? Where's the help at the back line, And Max is going to have to literally park everybody and pull some of the fans at the back there to pop them into space, because it's going to leak all over the place. Now, nonetheless, they dropped the first one. We have a very calm mercato, and that doesn't write the story for us, is what I'm going to say. So the calm might have been fine. We talked about this team. I have shouted it from the rooftops. 26 points in hand last season. You don't necessarily need a massive change to clean that up, and Bremer probably cleans up a lot of those points. If you can get yourself in that position again this season, if Bremer can remain healthy, that bodes well for you right there. That guy is the best center back in the league. I won't listen to any other names being brought in there. Don't get me started on Bastoni.
He's beautiful. Love that man.
Bremer is massive. Cabal, I actually think, will overtake the left center back role. Will he be to the level that we want? Maybe not, but it can't just be Kelly. And we'll get into the starting lineups for this game today, because a lot were saying they would probably go with what I've seen out here on one of the football apps, and we'll discuss as we get to that game. But Tudor's got a team that last year, it's pretty similar to this team. The expectations were there after last season's mercato. Did it fall apart solely because of the players? Absolutely not.
No.
Not for me. So Tudor's got to just put it together, and he's showing the right signs, at least focusing on like harmony. And the one thing that he seems unwilling to sacrifice is that the one thing that matters the most is the team. No individual is bigger than it. And now they've plastered the quote from Gianluca Vialli about teamwork, all for one. And it's right on the side there, outside at Continassa there. Beautiful, beautiful. Because it's time to stop worrying about the names on the back. Time to finally start worrying about the overall. And I think they have a good group. I think last year went ugly for a number of reasons. But Tudor, for what he may have in shortcomings in tactics, in some of the adapting and whatnot, he might make up for a lot this season with us, just in terms of man management and group management. Because a younger squad is going to be easier for a guy like Tudor to come in when you lack all that other stuff. It'll be easier for him to come in rather than opposed to a group of stars that have egos already developed that are, it's easier for him to do that. And he's got some key pieces on his side in Locatelli, in Bremer, in Di Gregorio, in these guys like Yildiz, was getting benched last season for a series of games. Thuram got benched for a series of games, and we were all thinking, what the fuck are we doing? Here you are, they're listed as alternate captains. He's doing the right things. He's got the harmony. I think that's going to go a long way. In terms of on the pitch, just please stop waiting for them to drop dead on the pitch before you substitute. Okay, that's number one. But I actually think a lot of our struggles last year we won't see. If a team wants to clamp down on these guys, I think they're going to shred them now. And I think a lot of that comes from Jonathan David's play. I think he's going to be the key to dragging guys out of position, opening up spaces for Chico to have a rip, for Yildiz to have a rip, for Cambiaso to get further up the pitch and have. They're all going to help one another. It's preseason. It was games that really didn't have a lot of meaning, but they showed something that we lacked in a long time, and that is fluidity. Fluidity and some good tempo. He's focusing on fitness and everything like that, and he's kind of called out for how much he focuses on the fitness, but my God, the play was pretty good, guys. The play was pretty good. It's promising, and João Mario could be the wild card. Do you start him? So Tudor had 3 decisions to make, speaking of Tudor. And we'll get to lineups and stuff. They said Gatti or Kalulu at right center back. Whether or not you go with João Mario or McKennie to start the game. And then they had, does Cope Miner start? Or do you go with Locatelli and Thuram that was the mainstay last season? So, number one, we'll get into lineups and everything, and then we'll get into these. But quick, shooting from the hip. Kalulu or Gatti at right center back? Trim.
Gatti.
Kalulu or Gatti, Paulo? Right center back.
Gatti. Kalulu's made some mistakes.
Don't do it.
And he
Don't do it, Bert.
So.
Well, Gatti's made mistakes too. I mean, we've all made mistakes. They've all made mistakes. I go Kalulu. McKennie or João Mario to start? Paulo.
Super Mario. Let's go.
João Mario. Trim.
Right across the board. João Mario. Yeah.
And then in the middle, Trim.
Thuram and Luca.
Thuram and Luca. Paulo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thuram and Luca. So we're pretty much there other than the Gatti Kalulu on there. And on the Kalulu Gatti matter, it switches because people brought up the alternative of getting them over to the other side. Let's get these mutts out of here. Fangul. Okay, Parma. This is where we got Suzuki. We're expected to see Del Prato. Remember Prato? I
was going to say that's our buddy there. Del Prato is going to shut everything down.
Mia. Cercati, Valenti, Levic there. Bernabe is going to be an interesting one to watch this season for Parma if anybody's going to be following a decent showing last year. Keita, Ordonez, Valeri, Pellegrino, and then Almqvist up top there. 3-5-2. They are, we'll talk about Parma more. We're just looking at lineups right now, but when it comes to these guys, the 3 are going to turn into sometimes a 4-5-1, depending on how they feel. If they're going to look to cheat a bit on that quick, direct transition. But for the most part, if a team is shifting a lot and switching the field, they will just drop them straight back into a 5. You'll get that block that you see, and Almqvist will kind of drop to be more of that target for them. and they'll look to keep those two at the top pretty close if they're going to break away, right? That's kind of their whole thing. But the thing with them is they're going to be a little bit of a wild card because they just brought Cuesta in, who's 30 years old, as their manager, very young manager, and he could shift things out a bit. This is just kind of what is expected from what you've seen so far in the short time frame of Cuesta there. But Parma's going to be in tough, I think, this season in general. Parma's going to be in tough, but a 30-year-old manager, he's got a battle on his hands with this squad too. When you're looking at, if this is the guys he's going to be going into in games and stuff, some good young guys, young promising talents, but life's going to be hard for Parma. Life's going to be hard when we get to us. You guys want to say anything on Parma?
Well, I was just going to say that shout out to Koki in the chat. Yeah, Dennis Mann left and went to PSV Eindhoven.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of their top players last year. So obviously trying to fill the void there is going to be tough for them. But yeah, they tend to they have a sneaky game against us. But
like a lot of teams, they haven't really recouped a move, right? Like Bologna. Look at Bologna. And now Immobile down. And I mean, they were pulling in the 2021 Euro side there with Berna, Immobile. I'm surprised they didn't sign Insigne, so they said goodbye to guys. And
might be next, depending on Immobile's condition.
Yeah, they wouldn't be surprised to see old Lorenzo show up there with a pizza pie and looking for a job. This is what's out there for the football app here for us. And you see, one of the things they brought up was Gatti on the left. And that was brought up in our preview. It was like, why not just play Gatti on the left? So I've said this for a while now, like Kalulu, Gatti, Rugani even, they just don't look good on the left. They just don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think too, Berto, not to cut you off or jump in, but I think also part of it too is, and again, it's not to put a knock on Cambiaso, but I think it also depends on who's in front of Gatti on that left side. Like, if it was someone who's a little bit more solid defensively, not that Cambiaso can't do it against teams like a Parma, but if we had someone who's a little bit more defensively solid on that left side in front of Gatti, they can maybe drop back if Gatti tends to cheat, right? Because it is like his offside if he's more right-footed, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I as much as we hate to say it, like, Bremer could play on the left, but you want him in the heart. It would be silly to pull him out of that space. Bremer can play on the left. He played at the left for Torino before coming to us. He could do it. I don't want him out there because the way you play when you're playing 3-4-2-1 or even 3-5-2 for that matter, you can get drug out to sidelines quite easily. You get him out into like corner areas. You want this guy in the heart, ruling out the top players on the opposition and controlling, full control of that back line, full control of the line, pressing forward and pinning teams back. Today, I expect that against Parma. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take Bremer out of there. Kelly is the best of the bunch remaining on the left side. That's just the way I feel. Sadly, I don't want him to be like that to be the best level we have there, but he is.
If we can't beat Parma with Kelly as a back, then we got more problems than Kelly. Yeah, and frankly, with Kalulu and Gatti, put either one there. They both are hit and miss, but Bremer will help tidy them up and keep them in order. He'll help kind of general the back. And if it's Mario on the right side, then maybe Kalulu can be a little more aware and mobile to help pick up his mistakes or maybe even be more dangerous down that side, because Kalulu does like to go forward and he's quite good when he does stretch his legs a bit.
And what I will say for the right side, when you're going to pick Kalulu or Gatti, it might have to do with who's playing that wingback role. This has Nico Gonzalez on there. I fully expect one of João Mario or McKennie to start. With how thin our lineup is, I see Nico Gonzalez being utilized more in one of those advanced forward roles this season than he is going to be on the outside, with the fact that McKennie stayed back. McKennie's best season for Juventus was actually at the wing back position. where he amassed something crazy like 16 assists or something, 15 assists, something stupid in all competitions. That's probably going to be the play. So if you're going to pick Kalulu or Gatti, I could see Gatti being in there when you have a guy like João Mario who's going to be explosive and is going to push the pace, push the tempo, push the game up there.
Yeah.
I could see Kalulu more so when you got a guy like, maybe McKinney that will still get advanced, will still do that, but you get double the amount of play that you can get pushing that forward, right? But he's got options. Tudor does have some options with the starting 11. It's outside of that starting 11 that's going to be a little bit of a question mark. We are going to get to everything in the game. For us, Savona, Miretti, Cabal are sidelined. For Parma, you have Balo suspended, Frigan's out, ACL, and Ondrejka's out, and Hernani is actually a doubt. That's why you don't see him on that preview lineup as well. Tactically, like I said, from Cuesta, I'm not going to expect a whole bunch. I'm going to expect a pretty safe, try and clamp down and try and hit back game from them. For Juve, I'm going to expect heavy throttle in the first half. I'm going to expect that back line to pretty much play inside Parma's half and just smother them. And I'm going to expect a lot of work to be heading to our forwards. Conceição, Yildiz, David, heavily involved, and Cambiasso definitely pushing things offensively. And that's what I expect out of this game. You can't even really look at the breakdown for roster and expect really key battles in this one. This needs to be a straightforward victory for Juve. No disrespect to Parma, but our midfield, even if you're going to pull Colt Miners in there, which I don't expect him to start, you're going to control the midfield in this game. Bremer is going to easily handle Almqvist or Pellegrino, no problems. And he's going to be pushing us forward. And we always said you are allowed to cheat with a guy that damn good at the back. I expect all this to go down. Now, what do we expect for scoreline? Because it's time for predictions before we get into Storm the Barn. So, we haven't done this in a while, and I just absolutely love it. But final score, 2 tiebreakers. Let me get the pen out here. The lovely pen my daughter gave me with a nice little soccer ball on the top there.
There you go.
Now, who wants to kick things off on the first prediction for the 25-26 season? Who wants to kick us off?
I will allow Paulo to do the honors if he would like.
Paulo, it's all yours.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Berto. There aren't a lot of clues to Parma. They did take 4 points from us last year. They're kind of stubborn. Cuesta being the youngest coach now, one of the youngest in Europe, he did grow up under Arteta at Arsenal. He's going to want to control the ball. He's going to want to have possession. He's going to want to keep it out of Juve's feet. And he's going to want to try and control the game and stay within reach. Tudor, in order to do what he does and get that hammer on the door, he's going to go right after him. And I think he's going to press high and he's going to run our boys ragged, which will intercept possession and disrupt this possession. I think that Cuesta is going to want in order to stay in the game. So I predict a really good offensive front foot from our boys today. They really have to come out of the gate fast. We have these kind of 10, 15-minute slow starts. We're not great before the halftime. So I expect Tudor to come out flying. I need us to be going full gear, 90 minutes right from the gate. So I'm going to say we're going to dominate this. I really have a lot of faith in those 3 up top. I'm excited to see what they can do. And with Tudor's attitude towards playing, I think we're going to win 3-0. And I do believe that Yildiz is going to get on the board. This year is going to be so exciting for him. He's more central with Conceição, with David coming in at the top of the box a little more from the middle. So I think Yildiz will be on the board. I think David's going to get his first goal. Canada. And I don't know where this third goal is going to come from. I was thinking a lot about it. I was thinking about the midfield and how they're going to be kind of a little bit aggressive too and getting up there and really kind of squeeze this Parma team. I I think set plays I'm still worried about set plays. If this guy does his homework, he's a big data guy, right? The new coach for Arsenal, he was a big data video guy. He's going to be looking at set plays to burn us. So I think we're going to be cautious defensively. So I'm going to give Conceição the third goal. And I think that top three are actually strangely each going to get one because they're going to be very busy today. And
there you go. There you go.
I'm really excited. I think we've got this.
Now, Trimmy, I'll let you go now.
So, not to bring up some painful times and painful memories of last season, but October 30th, 2024, Parma Juve, 2-2 draw. April 23rd, Parma Juve, 1-0 Parma victory. So, needless to say, we need a win. Match day 1, there's no excuses. We've got 2 matches this week, next week, an international break following match day 2. So, what does that mean? To Paulo's point, get on the front foot and step on these guys' throats. There's no excuses. This is Parma, no disrespect to them, but we are Juve. We are hoping and wanting to challenge for the title. We need to start off with a bang. I'm going 3-0 as well as Paulo, but I've got a Yildiz brace and David, my boy, to start his Serie A campaign with a goal. Furthermore, not to deviate off the path of the score prediction, but I have a wager that I'd like to announce, and not to go after one of our viewers and our dedicated followers, but could you know Eddie? I always see his interaction in the chat. He's not the biggest fan of David. So I have a proposition for him. It's a kit bet. I'm going out on a limb for my boy Jonathan David. So, Mr. Cugino Eddie, I propose to you that if Jonathan David scores 20 goals in Serie A, not all comps, Serie A only this year, you got to buy me a kit. But if he does not, I am willing to do the opposite, and I will purchase a kit, send it to you, a Juventus kit with any name, if he does not meet that feat.
Oh, Cugino Eddie, do you accept? Wow. Do you accept a 20
I will not
goal
take this David slander no more. He's going to do it. I'm going to bat for my guy. I figure I wanted to spice it up a bit and make things interesting. To start
Dude, that is awesome. This is the first time we've actually done that. That is sweet. A little wager without there. Cugino Eddie has been hard on Jonathan David.
No, I will not stand for it. I will not stand for it.
That's a bet I'll gladly. We got ourselves a wager. We got ourselves a wager. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Keenly watching this and keeping track. It'll be fun. But I figure, like I said, just to start off the season with a little bit of friendly fun, it should be good. So it'll be fun. But
that's awesome.
So my tiebreakers, David and Yildiz brace today, and 3-0 scoreline.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
That's great.
All right. So
he's got to do it.
Oh my God. All right. I'm fired up over that. Fired up for the season to start. So we got 3-1 Juve here. I give Juve 3-0, 3-1. We got 3-0 from Gio. We got 2-1. We got 4-0. Nikki T. Suarez 3-1 victory. Calogero 3-0. Juve. Michael G 2-0. 4-0. By the way, every time Calogero comes up, all I can think about is A Bronx Tale. What a movie.
Yes.
What a movie. We're going to call you C. Calogero. Look at 3-1s. We got more 3-1s. All right. Let's go here. The first goal of the 25-26 season for Juventus. Kenan Yildiz. I'm going to say. Okay? Kenan Yildiz gets the first one for Juve. Mm-hmm. We win this one. So what is it? It's Sassuolo 3-0, Udinese 3-0, Como 3-0. The past 3 season openers 3-0. Is it 3-0 today? Trim. You got Paulo. You got Bunchy in the chat. That's the safe bet. We get 3 in the first half. We will get 3 in the first half today. Everybody. Do we add a fourth? That I don't know, because Tudor's going to play it pretty calm with 3 coming out of the first half. Okay? But Yildiz gets the first goal of 25-26 season for Juve. I will call that one. And Of course he's getting on there. You're as cold as ice. The fucking Iceman is getting a goal today, okay? And you know who's going to get another one? Oh, we are dying for some set piece goals. Gleison Bremer. Gleison Bremer.
Yeah.
Get that
Beast
big
mode.
damn Brazilian dome on one of those and smash it home, okay? It's unexpected, and that's why I'm calling for it, Mitch. It's unexpected. That's why I'm calling. We get 3 in the first half. The game probably ends at 3. 3-0 is a safe bet across the board. I wouldn't be surprised for a 4th to be added, especially if a guy like João Mario comes off the bench. And you got, dare I say, Dusan Vlahovic scores as a substitute in the season opener. Milan, you're looking for a strike. I got just the guy for you. He's going to step in today and score 4-0. Let's go 4-0. 4-0, and I'll throw Vlahovic scoring off the bench today, okay?
We are in a good mood. I think Bremer would like a shutout. I think Bremer would like a shutout for sure. Clean
Let's
sheet.
do it. Let's do it. There you go. And yeah, we got to start 25-26 with a bang. So there you go. And you know what? The coffee's good over there too because Javi went 5-0. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Storm the barn time. Storm the barn time. Let's go. What do we got? You guys reach out to João Mario and tell him that if he scores, he needs to do the basqueroto. Oh my God, that dude is jacked, man. Jesus.
I was shouting for him in the market, man. I was saying we should have tried to pick this guy up. Imagine him and Bremer as the pairing back there. They would just crush everyone.
The fucking bus breaks down. He just picks it up on his shoulders and just like, yeah, don't worry, I'll get us there. We won't be late for this kid. That guy's a unit. Trying to get a gig with Gasperini, man. Show him he's got the good juice. Milan wants Vlaho as the Boniface deal. I feel bad for Boniface, to be honest. That's kind of crappy when you can't pass a medical and the knee thing comes up. Maybe that's why Leverkusen also, it was such a good deal. It was like, what, a 5 million loan, 24 to purchase or something. Sometimes, if it seems too good to be true, it's kind of the thing. But Vlahovic back in play. And of course, the rumors ramping up. Who has the best haircut of the AJC cast? Where's Severino here in the chat? Where's our boy Sev?
Take it easy.
Sev's like, anytime hair gets brought up, oh man.
It's a very sensitive subject.
I don't know who's got it.
It's not me right now.
Upset based on how much time and effort they spend on it. Skanga. Skanga's going to be upset if he doesn't win it. Okay.
The Skanga's always well manicured.
It's definitely not me because I need a haircut.
It's like a hedge,
now, so.
a beautiful hedge.
It's a fancy boy. It's a fancy boy.
Yeah.
That Seinfeld kills me. He's a fancy boy.
You can tell when Berto gets a haircut because he shows up on air and everything looks really nice. Like you're like, right after you get your cut.
super tight on the sides, even under the hat.
The front's all sorted out. Yeah.
Now, we got to get to this one. Thoughts on Jurassic Max losing to Cremonese? So, thoughts on just the opening day in general, fellas? What'd you think?
Well, for me, I was just so happy that it was back. I was actually, I was, believe it or not, I feel like I was more excited for the start of this season than like recent years. I don't know why specific to this season. Well, I mean, I guess because David's going to play for Juve, but that aside, like just everything with Serie A, like there's so many good storylines, so much drama. Max back at Milan. Can Conte and Napoli repeat the guys they picked up this summer? You know, there's a lot of good storylines, but
super weird to see Gasp behind a different bench.
That too. It's
like that looked just
strange.
Weird. I was like, this is weird. Just super weird, right? When you're accustomed to seeing them there at Atalanta. Roma looked good. Yeah. Wesley. That was a guy we were linked with early in the mercato. Yeah. Had himself a game. Yeah. It's good to see it back and everything. I think that first game, it's so funny, right? You come out of the mercato, we talked about it before, Milan just feeling so high, and it really doesn't matter until it comes down to what happens on the pitch and what you're going to do. So we'll see. For Max, I mean, I don't know. said it a while ago, no disrespect to him or anything. I don't see him contending for this title that everybody said, because I don't see him having the team. I still don't see him having the squad, right? Paulo, what do you think about opening day?
It was fun. I had the Premier League on. I had Serie A on. Excited about both leagues. Very exciting. A lot of stars. A lot of great soccer to watch. Um, and for Serie A, I still think that in the top 5, 6 spots, there's going to be a lot of movement all year. And I was looking at Juve's schedule. Other than Inter and AC, the first 10, 11 games, kind of a friendly schedule. I mean, at least we haven't played a game yet, but if we can get a bunch of wins and have a strong start, we'll be right in the mix. And I think that's what you need to do. I think these top 5 teams, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 teams are going to kind of push each other around a little bit. And I think by the end of the season, with a few games remaining, you're going to see very few points between all of them. I'm guessing that. So we'll see. I think it's exciting and a lot of unknowns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be an interesting season. I don't think the mercato, even for Napoli and everything, it goes to show you how one injury, one big one, all of a sudden just really changes everything. Because can you go through banking all the time on mids to get your goals and take you through?
And there's no way De Bruyne is playing the whole year. There's no way he's playing.
He can't. He's not gonna be. He's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
be
it's
able
possible.
to do it, right? Like, they're gonna have to mix it up there. He might get injured too, but he's had physical issues down the stretch there, even in the Prem. So there's gonna be changes, and even us, we're gonna get hit with injuries, and how we're gonna be grinding through, right? Like, knock on wood, my God, I hope we go through without, but it's gonna happen. We just got to hope that we can manage through the best way possible. So, and Sev's super happy. Like I said, we changed topic there because, always a sore spot there. Always a sore spot there. Now, let's keep it rolling. Tuna, we need a statement win today. Napoli look good. We'll score goals from everywhere. If Gasp gets Roma firing, it could be dangerous. Tudor, lock it in. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a season pretty similar to last year. I don't think anybody runs away with anything. I really don't. I really, really don't. That's just me. Do you guys think some are saying Conte might have a 10-point lead by, halfway, and then it's going to be smooth sailing second half of the season?
No, I think it really depends on the 3 comps specific to Champions League, right? Like, that plays a whole puts a whole different wrinkle on it, especially for Napoli, right? So we're gonna have our own issues with it as well once they start dropping those matches in mid-October and November. Further to the point of our schedule, like, there's some big games coming up with the other clubs playing each other. I know Milan plays Napoli pretty quick out the gate here. Match day 3, match day 4 around there. To Paulo's point, we've got Inter right out of international break. So that's a big one I'm definitely looking forward to. But other than that, we've got a pretty decent schedule. So it's just more the other teams around us. Like, even yesterday, a Bologna-Roma match, like, it's a pretty decent match for mid-table, getting into top 4 potential. But to your point, Berto, I don't see anyone running away with it. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think it actually is going to be closer this year than it was last year, just because I see us remaining the same, more continuity. Napoli adding some pieces, so they'll be right there. Inter will take a step back, but again, same squad, just their new manager, so they have to kind of adjust to things. Milan with Max, but again, kind of par for the course to see them drop their first one. You know what I mean? Like, just play a stinker in the first game. They'll figure it out. But again, what are their options in the back specific to their club, right? So it'll be tight. It'll be tight all year.
Yeah. And Trim, the new Champions League format, that's a lot of games. And you're not in the group stage where you can take certain games off, so to speak, because you kind of qualified. That's a lot of games, and it's going to really impact Napoli's health as well as ours. And there's a lot of good teams in the CL groupings, as we saw last year. Some interesting matchups, some tough road games. It's going to be tough. The Champions League is going to really test the depth of your squad and how you
Conte
manage
never
it.
cared for Champions League, but you know who does? De Laurentiis, with the finances and the money coming in. You got to hit a certain point. You got to get to a certain point there for financial aspects, especially if he's going to spend all that money for you. God damn it, we got the recipe for an explosion. Let's go. Let's go. De Laurentiis and Conte.
Let's go. Kaboom.
I think the wildest claim I saw for Serie A 25-26 is actual shouts for Atalanta to win Serie A this season. And this is legit. This was honest takes. Throwing Atalanta to... Juric is one of... I'm going to say he is going to be one of the first 4 coaches sacked, because you're going to have those low sides like trying to get posturing to like stay safe. That'll rotate coaches. You might see a coach fired and rehired by those teams. That's the way they act down in that sector. Picking Atalanta to win, I'm not sure they're going to be in the top 10. Like, that's a wild one. That's a wild one, man.
I can see him being the first one sacked, just because of where they've been the last bunch of years with Gasp and kind of expectation I'm sure they have built in, whether it's realistic or not. I can see him actually being the first one to go, especially if they start off with like 0-3 just out of the gate, or, you know, I don't know what their schedule is, but to your point, Berto, like, I don't even know if they crack a European spot. Like, well, that for sure. I don't see them cracking a European spot this year. So
too many teams. 7, too many teams I've got are gonna pass them. Like, I think Bologna is gonna take a big step back. Fiorentina might jump up a bit. Como's probably gonna surpass Atalanta this year. If I had to make a call like that, like, I see Como stepping up ahead of them. Mm-hmm. Roma is gonna take a jump up this year. Like, Milan's going to take a jump up this year. Didn't start off well, but they'll get it going. Yeah. Atalanta to win? I think
get out of here.
I think Snoop Dogg was in a little session in the studio and walked out and made that prediction. Jesus. Mm-hmm. After a hot box. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah, maybe they thought it was Hotlanta and not Atalanta. So
yeah,
could have been just
Hotlanta. Will it be good or bad moving Vlahovic to Milan if he scores today against Parma? It's only going to be bad if you have no coverage. Like, what if we're all of a sudden we move Vlahovic and you literally are going after like Nicholas Jackson? Oh,
you couldn't. He's too expensive anyway.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, but no. Hell no. All right?
Nice.
That's a hell no. I know. That's pretty good, eh?
Love that one. That was
Openda? Gotta be Colo. Gotta be Colo. Yeah. We're in an ugly position now with Vlahovic if we're being serious. You know?
Yeah.
If we're being serious. Do you see all 3 signings? Zhegrova, Colo, and O'Reilly going down before the end? No. I gotta be serious. No. If not, rank the signings in order of most important to least. So this I like. Paolo, top priority out of these 3. Rank them in priority sequence for you personally. Zhegrova, Kolomuani, O'Reilly.
Okay, Colo for sure, because that gives you leverage with Dusan. Zhegrova, I'm not a fan. I think his groin's going to blow up, and I think that guy's career's over. And so maybe some depth in the middle, fine. Maybe some depth on the wing. I still want a defender. So for me, it's Colo, defender, and then whatever in the middle.
Yeah. Trim.
Poor Sev. Earmuffs for Sev with Zhegrova. But it's obvious. Colo is the number 1 priority. And then, so this is where I kind of contradict myself, though, because between O'Reilly and Zhegrova, like, I mean, you could argue that either or is not a necessity. It's more of a surplus, especially on the wing for Zhegrova. It's more of a gamble, injury history, all that. But with O'Reilly, same thing. Like, I don't necessarily feel like we need him, that specific type of player. Like, I get people want another option in the 10 role, but again, if we hang on to Nico, he can play there. David can play there. Yildiz can play there. So you have options in that position. So if I had to rank it based on Forza Juve's list, I'd go Colo, then Jagrova, then O'Reilly. So O'Reilly's like low priority for me. But yeah.
I gotta say, PSG really are pricks. They really, really are pricks, man. So they got Kolo Muani till 2028 on contract, right? They're just pricks. Jagrova,
but we're broke pricks as well. We're broke pricks.
Jagrova's gonna be free like in a year, and like I don't understand this rush to take like the risk of like he had a severe adductor injury, like he did do the surgery. He had adductor issues before in years prior. It seems to be this thing. And even with the surgery, adductors are nasty for footballers. Like that's a nasty thing. Like why assume the risk if you can go in for this guy in January super cheap, or just make a deal with him for a free at the end of next season and take less risk? I just don't understand. Like if our roster was stronger, I would take a flyer. I'd be like, okay, we can afford to take a flyer because we got good depth on the bench and like our structure's good. We're not there. Like we need to bank on guys that are coming in to help boost it. Like our starting 11, I feel comfortable with. It's the bench that's a little bit soft. It makes no sense to take a risk for that. And it's like, oh, he's going to steal the show from Chico or whatever. For what, 2 weeks until he's hurt again? Like, let's pump the brakes. Like, you got to be out there consistently. And at Juve, that terrifies me based on the Bermuda Triangle that is J Medical.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not the top priority. Top priority for me would be Kolo Muani out of that list. O'Reilly, second.
He could be useful in the middle because Loca's gonna need a break. Thuram's gonna need a break. These guys are so essential to us surviving this year that you need someone who can come in and help pick up some time now that we don't have Luiz or anybody else. Maybe Moretti. Adzic, we haven't talked about either, and I'm curious to see what happens with him. But I've got a quick storm the barn for you two. That just occurred to me when we were talking about the lineups. Would you, if Savona was healthy and playing preseason, would you have him instead of Gatti and Kalulu on the right side and a 3 at the back, or still either Kalulu or Gatti?
I would mix Savona in as a rotational piece for sure.
So you wouldn't start him today if he was healthy?
I wouldn't have started him today, no.
I think for me, it's more like a long-term view, meaning like you want him to be the guy. You want him there. Just right now, I think it's a little too soon. But ideally, like he surpasses Kalulu and he surpasses Gatti, which I don't think he's that far away from that per se. It just needs more consistency in minutes and playing time, and injuries have kind of plagued him so far. But I think he would be the long-term plan.
Adzic is a good shout too. Like, I mean, now with how skinny we are, he's going to have to stick around, and we're going to have to actually use him. Like, let's be serious. Let's get him some minutes. Let's get him groomed up in there, because he is going to have to stay around. If you're not making any more moves, like that's it. Like he's staying. He needs to stay. Moretti needs to stay, and we're going to need to actually use them. So hopefully this season we do what the plan was last for Adzic. Get control of these games against these teams and give them some good minutes in the follow-up. So I called for it. Let's go. Bag 3 in the first half. Let's get Adzic in around 65, 70 minutes. And let's go.
That's part of your depth, right, Bert? We want to have some opportunities on the bench. And if you get young guys looking good, growing, your bench gets a lot stronger. And all of a sudden you have guys who are working towards a starting role, working towards 15 to 25 minutes, starting against weaker teams perhaps. So let's get these young guys in. We sold most of them. Let's keep a couple and give them a shot.
Yeah. Now, thoughts on Francisco Barreiro? He might be the next Dybala. I want to see him train with the big boys ASAP. You saw this boy, pure magic, and he is already a Juventino. Barreiro's getting a ton of hype, a ton of coverage, rightfully so. Doing things well, and he's going to be very soon into that same list of players that is already overgrown, that level, that stage, and then he's going to be pushing and you know what? Funny enough, it could be a spot where like something opens up and everything. He's just right now, he is one to watch. He's like another gem that you kind of have down there that is this, next name to watch out for. So again, how he's managed what we do. Let's see. But for these young guys, and even going back to Savona, like Paolo brought up, same thing. He can't just sit there behind Kalulu and Gatti. Like you have to and that's going to be a big thing for Tudor too, pushing those starters. Yeah. Complacency is something we have to eliminate. Even if we feel skinny, you have to eliminate that. That's been something that's been prevalent in this Juve for the 4 years running now, right? Is complacency in that lineup. Speaking of that Mutt Rabiot, that was one of my biggest things. Max had that guy so fucking complacent. I hated it. He was a symbol of like all things I despised about what Juve was becoming. So with these guys, even Savona, like he can't just be sitting there on the bench when he comes back and he's fit. You've got to use these guys. You need to get them their reps. They need to be in the mix. They need to be involved. Going back to that team element and aspect that Tudor's trying to push, that's going to be a big part of it. So it'll be interesting to see if Tudor does get like locked in on just a set group of names, or if he gets everybody their fair share and involvement. That's going to be something that, yeah, it's kind of going to be like this wild card with Tudor. I don't really know how he's going to approach that. I actually think we talked about this with just Cope Miners. I think you're going to see a mix in there at the pivots. I don't think it's going to be straight up Thuram Luca, like boom, 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 boom. I think Cope's going to get his fair share in there. I think McKennie's going to get a decent mix. With João Mario, maybe the spot against tired legs. Nico Gonzalez is not going to be ridden off because we tried to shop him.
Yeah.
I think Tudor's going to be, and it's going to be important for him to do that. But
yeah, we can't have a stubborn coach. We can't have a stubborn coach. Matsubal last year. This guy, it was all about him, it seemed. Tudor, he seems very friendly and likable, handsome man, but he also seems strong and tough, but he seems fair. So I think he's got respect from that group, and I hope he does move guys in and out because it'll give them confidence, and it'll give the ones you're relying on most of the year that moment to breathe, get an ice pack on, sit down, take a half off, allow these guys to survive a year and keep their careers moving. I hope he's open-minded, and I hope he moves people around quite a bit and doesn't get stubborn or leave them on too long.
Agree.
We'll see.
I'm not a big on burritos, more a quesadilla guy. We got ourselves a yellow card.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
We got ourselves a yellow.
That's not bad.
Gio, I'm watching you, man. He's
filling in for Adam today, I think. So there you go.
Cugino Eddie, is there any truth to the rumor that Luca is the first choice PK taker? Well, Tudor kind of mentioned that he's going to be taking him. He took the last critical one. Locatelli spoke
the $80 million
to
penalty he took. He walked up and said, "Give me the ball. This is an $85 million penalty, and I'm taking it." Fuck, I thought about that yesterday after the presser, and I thought, Luca, man, fuck, good job, buddy.
Dude, it was awesome. It was an awesome moment.
That's your captain.
To jump up in the crowd, celebrate with them, and like what a full circle moment from getting the boos and the jeers in a preseason game at Allianz. Like, it's like, man, full circle moment. The guy, it's why when all the sales talk came up on Luca, I was like, guys, we ask for all these things from our players. A guy delivers all these things and you still shit on him. It's crazy to me. It's just like, there are certain things that stats, that football apps, that whatever don't calculate. And this guy's importance to the group right now would be bigger than any fucking exit we said like last season.
Yeah.
This would have been that times 10 to say goodbye to this guy right before your season starts would have been like the stupidest thing Juve could have done.
Well,
but as far as being a PK taker, I don't give a shit who takes it. Luca, Yildiz, David can take them. Get going. But free kicks. Is Yildiz going to step up and take free? We need like a set piece specialist. We really do. And we've lacked
Coop's
that for a while.
quite good at free kick. Coop's quite good at set pieces.
He can take them. We need more of a specific guy.
But Coop's not going to be like a main in like, he's going to be a mix of minutes, right? So like Yildiz, he's going to have to step up there. He's going to have to step up there, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. Will Dusan Vlahovic be booed when he scores today? You know what? Going back to Paolo's point, the perception goes a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for players, this is not a Dusan Vlahovic thing. This is a football thing. When you kind of have offers that are out there, when it's being reported you're turning down everything, when it's being reported you've given Juve one option, and that is to take a 21 million capital hit is the only way you're leaving. And then it's like, oh no, I'm going to leave. And there's rumors you've got a free deal already, like just in the weights. The perception goes a certain way. He hasn't done anything or said anything otherwise to counteract those. As far as booing him though, like he's going to get jeered if there's sitters. He's going to hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
Not for sure.
He's going to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on 23 million a year. There's been no negotiation things, even to just lower the cost annually for Juve. I think fans would have even accepted that, to be honest. Like, there was a lot of fans that were bringing that up. They said, even if he lowers and extends, like, we're using him anyway this season, but to just not be willing to budge on the 23 million salary, that's gonna make fans feel a certain way. But
especially
like to boo him,
when Colo says he'll take a pay cut to join us. Come on.
Yeah. I would not boo the guy, but he'd be hearing it from me on a miss. Like, you're gonna miss sitters now, and you're playing this guy, you know, and these teams that have come in for you are not good enough, not to your level. You don't want to lower your salary to make one of these moves go through. Juve's obviously okay with saying goodbye to you, but not only that, as a man, as yourself, has the situation not been toxic for you on a personal level? Like, does Vlahovic, like, is he happy with how things have gone at Juve that he's like, no, I'm not willing to sacrifice a thing. I will continue to just take this? That's what I mean.
Like,
to me.
How does he not realize, like, you know, you're in the situation partly because of yourself, not just everything around you. Like, you have to sack up and own your stuff too, man. Like, take accountability, and you know, a move is best for you as well. Like, just
that's the part that gets me is like, if I was in this, it's like, man, this needs a separation. Like, we need like Juve needs a fresh start. I need a fresh start. I don't know. If money talks, and on a free, he'll make more because he knows his salary's going way down this year. So is what it is.
15 this year. So
let's hope
15.
Yep.
Who's left in the market to reinforce the back line? You're looking at it. Paolo, myself, and
let's do it.
Are you guys left-footed? Left-footed? No.
Both foot.
Sure. Yeah, me too.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm both all the way. I just happen to be really better with one.
My left, man, I don't even know where it's going. So, fuck, that's about as good as it gets.
But you hit it.
I'll take it every time. I'll hit it every time. I just have no idea where it's going. But neither does the goalie, so it usually works out.
Nice.
I think it's down to Balerdi, and Laporte is still out there. Like, those two would really be the only two that intrigue me at this point.
I think we're done. I think
I
Laporte's
literally
holding
think
out for
the
Athletic.
that's it.
I think it's frozen. Predictions for TFC. Oh my God, battle of the cellar dwellers. I think they're in MLS, and sadly, Toronto not even favorites in that one. So
I think we need insider Mateo Camisa. He's the official MLS insider. We need him to weigh in on this because I know he'll be intrigued by this matchup today. I told him I was giving him a hard time that it kind of interferes with our match towards the end of the match because it's a 4 p.m. start local time. But
the only guy I know that builds a ultimate team with MLS in mind when we're playing FC 25 is hilarious. But hey, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to rep them. I'm gonna go draw on that game. Draw. Is the Champions League draw next week? Predict your 8 opponents for Juve just for fun. Predict the 8 opponents.
Oh, I'd have to see the list. It's such a long list
when
now.
When is the draw? Is it actually next week?
It's got to be soon because I think the qualifying I know was this week because there's one Canadian player, Johnston, got hurt for Celtic. They're in a battle trying to get one of the last spots. So I would imagine
August 28th.
Yeah, there you go.
So August 28th is going to be the draw. And man, predict the opponents.
Well, can we draw City again so we can beat them again? That'd be awesome.
Man, I'd love to see like the groupings and stuff, but let's take a look
here
here.
For the World Cup. Get revenge
Young
for
Boys, Bratislava, Red Bull Salzburg, Girona, Leipzig, Sparta Prague, Sturm Graz. That's Red Star Belgrade, I believe. Bologna, Shakhtar Donetsk, Stuttgart, Dinamo Zagreb, Club Brugge, Sporting, City, Celtic, Feyenoord, Brest, Monaco, Benfica.
So many of these teams we did poorly against last year in the Champions League.
So PSV, PSG, Milan, Bayern, Real, Dortmund, Atalanta. Can we draw them? We're not allowed to, but man, with Juric there, that's the time to draw them.
Just
champs.
Kick the crap out of them.
I'll
take PSG. Give me PSG because I want to slap them around for the whole Colo debacle. Just go there and just a 1-0 Max Corto Muso win in Paris with Colo sitting on the the bleachers.
Let's hold off on predicting, but is there some teams you want? Let's change it up to like a team you want us to face out of that. Who do you want to see Juve line up with? Is there a matchup you're waiting?
For me, there's 2 dating back to last year: PSV Eindhoven and City, because PSV knocked us out. Get a little bit of revenge would be nice, and City because we beat them. That was a great game to watch. It'd be fun to. I feel like we match up well against them. But that being said, if they end up picking up Donnarumma, I don't know. I might regret saying that. So, but those are 2 teams always. I think for this year would be nice.
I would like to see, just for Antonio because I know he would be going to it and everything. Celtic. It'd be cool to see Celtic just so that
would be sick. Yeah,
would be
cool.
I know he would go there, head there, and check that one out. That's one would be cool. Maybe Arsenal. I'd like Arsenal.
I'd
like Arsenal.
Too. Yeah.
I'd love that one. I'd love that one.
Jonathan David scored
especially if we could deliver a blow there. Especially if we could deliver a blow. I'd love it. But that's probably it. Celtic and Arsenal I'd like those 2.
Maybe pool for vibes. Chiesa gets subbed in. You got Chiesa against Juve.
And Bremer just goes through him.
Crushes him.
Bremer just impales Chiesa. Oh my God.
Suarez's gonna just click.
Knocks that silly long hair right off that dome. Suarez right now is just like
no,
guys.
Not having it right now.
There he is. Oof. All right. You guys, still some Storm the Barns coming in, but we got a lot. We ran right down to the wire here. It's opening day. Go do whatever you like to do on match day. We're going to reconvene here. There is a watch along 20 minutes before kickoff, I'm going to be back and we're going to have some fun and call the action. And for us over here in Canada, we got DAZN stepping up. And DAZN stepping up, combining with Fubo. So now I don't have to use that crappy Fubo app. And we've got it all under one service. Oh my God. And it's cheaper too in the long run. Oh my God. 25-26 is trending in the right direction. Juve's got to continue that. All right. Let's see what we're going to have today. The predictions are in, though. We got clean sheets and some goals, baby. Let's have some fun. Paulo, Trim, absolute pleasure. As always, fellas, enjoy game day today, the season opener. And everybody, we're back tomorrow, post-match podcast, all right? But the watch-along, 20 minutes before kickoff. Hope to see you all here. Drop a like before you head out. Subscribe if you haven't. As always, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Let's give Parma one of these today, all right? Let's go, baby. Let's go.